dog's dead.
How old were you?
So, that was, I don't know, that was probably 28 maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
you
was-
had your,
yeah.
okay.
I had my house. I was
Okay.
living in Woodstock
Okay.
Ave, and yeah. So it was in the winter time. So I was like, okay, the dog's dead. So all right, I was like, okay. So I drive over to the house, and I get into the house, and there's just this horrible stench in the house. And she's got her house cranked at 90 degrees because it's the middle of winter time. So I said, Graham, well, how long was the dog dead for? She says, about 2 or 3 days. So,
And she just noticed?
Dead with her.
and I'm like, well, why didn't you do anything about it? And she's like, well, I couldn't get a hold of, my mom and dad, and then Kenny wasn't around, so after 3 days she calls me. So I go to the back, and she says, it's on the bed. So it's on her bed.
This is where she sleeps.
Her
She
bed.
slept
Whether
with
the
the
dog
With the
is
dead
there or
dog.
not, She sleeps there.
She slept with the dog.
She slept with the dog all those nights.
The dead dog.
And so,
Dead dog,
so I
yeah.
go into the
Very
bathroom,
peaceful.
I go into the bedroom, and I got my thing over there like this because it really, the stench was overwhelming. And I looked at the dog, and it was swollen with the legs sticking up in the air because it was like and the head was like a basketball. And it was, I'm not kidding, it was like ooze was coming out of its nose. It was so gross. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And she says, okay, well, let me go get the dolly. So she gets a dolly to like move refrigerators. So she says, well, we'll get the dolly, we'll put it here, and then we'll take the blankets off and hold the 4 blankets and lower them onto the dolly and bring them. Okay, fine. So I'm pulling up the blanket, we're ready to lift, and she says, whatever you do, don't drop it because it'll pop like a water balloon. This is my 90-year-old grandmother. So we put the thing down, we dolly this thing out with the legs sticking up in the air, the stench on the blanket. We bring it out to the car. She says, put it in the back of the station wagon. So we heave the thing up, shove it in the back of the station wagon. Oh, give me the blanket, I'll wash it. Oh. So she washes the blanket, and she says, okay, we'll leave it there. I says, now this is Saturday, or I think it was Saturday or Sunday. Don't worry about it, just leave the dog there.
In the car?
In the car, in the garage. She's like, it's cold out here, so I'm like, fine.
Wintertime.
And she says, well, when
It can't smell any
Nancy,
worse.
when Vic comes home, then Vic could drive it down to the vet.
Leave it
So
for him.
he wasn't coming home for another 4 or 5 days. So I said, fine, I'll let my dad take it. So put it in closed up the doors, went home. About 6 days later, he calls me. He goes, "What the hell was that? Take the stupid dog down and the windows down the whole way." Oh, what a stench! It was the winter time, and she didn't believe in that. She did not know. She believed in burning, cremating the dogs, and then taking the ashes and burying them in the yard. But she never buried whole dogs.
I never realized that.
Yeah,
Where
she
did
always
you
had them
cremate
cremated.
them?
At the vet.
That's it.
And then you
Oh.
bring them to the vet and they'll do it.
I always figured
They
somebody
put them in a
would
nice little
find,
box with a plaque.
somebody would dig up the bone